been a really big Maserati fan. That's got nothing to do with why we've never tested one on Ignition GT, but I guess somewhere in the back of my mind it has to do with the last time I was in a Maserati, about 15 years ago in the early days of motoring journalism, and it left me somewhat less than impressed. It is, after all, supposed to be an Italian sports car, something that gets you all hot under the collar and excited just hearing the name, Maserati. The model I'm sitting in is called the Emozioni Blu. It's supposed to be all about emotion. So why do I have such mixed feelings about this, the Ghibli, Maserati's latest entry to the market in the form of a sporty four-door saloon? Well, it could be the name, which is about as enticing to me as sheep's brains. Then again, it is the third Maserati to wear the Ghibli nameplate, with the first being a hot-looking two-door V8 from the late 60s, and the second being a more boxy but quite fierce-looking two-door coupe in the mid-90s. So there's heritage there, but it's kind of like meeting a hot guy called Cecil.
Or I suppose a really beautiful girl and her name's Ethel.
Well, hello Marius, I'm glad you're here actually.
And why would that be?
Well, because I'm afraid that if I did this review on my own, it might be a little bit one-sided, and that really wouldn't be fair to the Ghibli.
Is it that bad?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. You're all about performance. Maseratis are very much about sportiness. So I want you to go and take it for a drive, and then we'll meet back up at Avianto later, and we'll compare notes.
It's the best idea you've ever had. Well done.
Go
Cheers.
drive.
Hey.
Now, while Marius goes off for a joyride, I want to find out a little bit more about the Maserati brand in South Africa, since they've just relaunched here under a new importer. And that's why we're here at the new showroom in Bryanston.
From the 1st of June, when we broke away on our own from Ferrari, it's actually done the brand a world of good. Customers, feel more comfortable walking in. As a brand, I must say that the one big positive that came out is, for the first time in South Africa, we're able to have on display our entire range in all the model derivatives as well. And customers are now exposed to this. So it's something that they've never seen before, and I'm sure we're going to build on going forward.
Ghibli brings Maserati's lineup to a quartet of models: the Quattroporte on a longer wheelbase and slightly longer than the newcomer, the Gran Turismo and the stunning Gran Cabrio. An SUV concept called the Levante is set to arrive here in 2016, but it's the Ghibli that sports an all-new range of petrol engines developed in conjunction with Ferrari.
Three-litre V6 engine, twin turbo, incredibly responsive. We're in the Ghibli S, which has 302 kilowatts and 550 Newton meters. The standard version, not bad, 246 and pushing up to 500. There's also, for the first time ever in Maserati, a 3-litre V6 diesel, which we haven't driven yet, but 600 Newton meters. It sounds like the perfect package for this type of car. So the engine's absolutely fantastic. Put that with an 8-speed ZF box and the relationship is just perfect. You can sit and drive this in regular mode and you get everything you want out of a gearbox. Seamless changes, super smooth. The car literally is doing the driving for you. But when you put it into manual mode and you start flipping around on the paddles, it is precise, it is quick, it is blisteringly fast on the changes. And that just converts this car from a luxury cruising sedan to a purpose-built sports car.
And it's this tale of two cars that Maserati hopes will bring it higher volumes. From being a niche manufacturer selling just 6,000 vehicles annually worldwide, the Italian brand sold over 36,000 last year. It has, however, put a global cap of 75,000 units on its sales to retain that exclusivity.
What it means to many of our customers to own a Maserati is the sense of belonging to an exclusive brand, belonging to an exclusive lifestyle that Maserati offers. And every day we see more and more of our customers wanting to be part of the brand, which is very encouraging for us here in South Africa.
From a handling perspective, it's a train in the Italian Alps. It is on freaking rails when you are pushing it. Really unbelievably impressive. 5 modes, so you can leave it in normal drive mode. You can put it into what they call ICE. No, it's not for snow and cold weather. It's increased control and efficiency, so essentially your eco mode. You can then also put it into sport mode, which obviously just gives you that sensitivity of the throttle. It changes the whole weight of the steering and really unleashes the car and turns it into a real driver's car. And then you can obviously also put it into manual. The nice thing with manual mode is it doesn't up change, so it's a true manual. It does a down change for you. And that soundtrack, glorious. That's what Maseratis are really have always been known for, and it doesn't disappoint. It is unbelievable. It's like that CD that you buy, 10 great tracks, but there's that one song that you play over and over and over and over again. Well, that's like the soundtrack on a Maserati. It's everyone's #1 hit track on an album. It's brilliant. A 5 Series BMW just doesn't give you the same feeling as driving in a Maserati.
While this is true, it is slightly marred by Maserati's use of parts from the Fiat Chrysler Jeep stable in the interior. I understand this is part of their desire to move to bigger volumes. Unfortunately, it does still feel plush and luxurious inside, with carbon fibre and quality leather in abundance. But there are some cheapy bits. Yes, it does and should, as Maserati says, feel like wearing an Italian suit. But in a way, these bits make it feel like you've got a sneaky little Mr. Price label lurking. I mean, look at the key fob. It even looks like a Jeep key fob.
I want you to look at it because yes, there's a beautiful Maserati Trident, but if you spun that way, that is me right now, Lindsay.
Is that your middle leg? Your third leg?
My manhood is literally hitting the ground. That is what the Maserati Ghibli does. It's an amazing car. Really.
I agree with you. Once you put this car through the bends, it is just amazing. But you know what's even better is that driving around town, I've driven it mostly in traffic, stop-starts. It's so comfortable. The gearbox is as good in traffic. It's really a good everyday car as well. Okay, I will admit I'm definitely more appreciative of this car than the Quattroporte I drove back in the early 2000s. Maybe the car's improved, maybe my taste has improved. Maybe it's like whiskey and you only really learn to appreciate the refinement that Maserati really does offer as you get older. But at 1.6 million for this model, you have to ask whether it really does give you that much more of a feeling than a top-of-the-range German saloon.
Yes, most definitely yes.
You love this car. I agree with you on the sound. There is absolutely nothing that comes close to that unique Maserati sound.
Opera, it actually makes me want to sing.
And secondly, on the looks, man, this thing grabs attention. People stop, they stare. It really is a showstopper.
And it's incredible because that appreciation of the Trident badge and what Maserati stands for is like universal across the board.
Yeah.
And you don't even find many Maseratis on the road. So good job on the brand. But I do want to say well done because you've actually approached this whole Maserati story from a non-female perspective.
Did I think like a man?
You did. You came at it with logic. And you are right. There are a lot of cars from a component perspective, wheels, tires, engine, that offer you the exact same thing as the Ghibli at a lot less money.
Yeah.
But you point out anybody that actually purchases a car and exercises any form of logic.